What's up?
Road, Naples.
What's up, chat? What's up, fellas? What's up, people? What's up, my people, my community? We're doing some free fire sales here. I'm giving back to the community. I'm an upstanding citizen. I do charity. I'm a part of a charitable social club, for crying out loud. For crying out loud, I'm literally a part of a charitable social club. All right, people. So old Fran here's gonna drink Bailey's from an old shoe. You ever drink Bailey's from an old shoe? I'm old Fran, and I'm gonna drink Bailey's out of a shoe. And then I'm gonna wash it down with Red Bull. Cheers. Always remember to drink responsibly. Oh. Always remember to drink responsibly. 99 blue raspberries up next. I'm gonna get my bottom teeth straightened out. I'm gonna get my bottom teeth straightened out. Alright, you just saw me drink Bailey's out of an old shoe because I'm old Fran. Wasn't that entertaining? Have I? I don't actually think I have. The funny thing about it is I think my body fat ratio is just different because I think I actually weigh about the same that I did a year ago. Having the most VR boxing wins in the world will do that, on top of working a job that illegal immigrants would claim is hard. All right, I'm doing a job not only alongside illegal immigrants, but I'm doing a job that illegal immigrants run around saying is not a job for people like me. Like, the stigma that there's, like, remember in the 2000s how there was the stigma, like, there's the job for illegal immigrants and then there's the jobs for, okay, I'm doing a job that illegal immigrants brag about being so hard that they're the only people in the world still capable of surviving in United States society while working such low-paying, physically demanding jobs. I've had nothing but jobs like that, but I've maintained having the most VR boxing wins in the world. Well, see, the funny thing about that is that United Kingdom people actually sold white Christians through the Isle of Man to the Barbary states of North Africa. That's an often overlooked part of world history, is that happened hundreds of years before the Atlantic slave trade. That happened hundreds of years before the Atlantic slave trade. White Christians were sold into North African slavery via the Isle of Man to the Barbary states. And that was hundreds of years before the Atlantic slave trade. And the United States Navy was the one that stopped that because the Barbary states were taxing 25% of world trade. Kind of like what Iran is doing right now to the United States trade. See, not only are Islamic people still enslaving pale people via what's it called, intercourse trafficking, you name it. Not only are Islamic people still enslaving pale Christian people and pale people in general, they're also taxing 25% of world trade again via the Strait of Hormuz. So we're not in a different situation than we were hundreds of years before the Atlantic slave trade, when white Christians were being sold into North African slavery via the Isle of Man directly out of the United Kingdom. Okay, so they went to the United Kingdom, purchased them from a United Kingdom citizen or a person from a country in the British Isles, and then took them back to Africa. So that's kind of, anyway, 90 bananas. Not 99 blue raspberries. $50 milliliters. All right, that was the free fire sales portion of today's events. I'm gonna go throw this away. Oh. All right, that concludes the free fire sales for today's stream. That concludes the free fire sales portion of today's events. If you know, you guys are gonna have to pay me not to work if you want me to do more than 2 shooters worth of fire sales. And I mean, I don't know how else to put it. You'd have to pay me to not work that's pretty much suffice. Yeah, well, I mean, with the way the United States economy is going and the fact that I have the most VR boxing wins in the world, I would say that I'm not even being a douche by being like, pay me not to work. I don't even think I'm being an e-beggar or a douche, because it's not as if I haven't, without a shadow of a doubt, proven that this shit is rigged, because I've showed up to work. Here's the thing is, I've showed up to work. I put a ton of work in at all the jobs I've done. I've showed up to work. I mean, and again, it's just been nothing but years and years and years of working jobs that immigrants brag about working because they think it's too laborious for someone like me who was born in the United States. Remember that whole narrative that they used? Remember that whole narrative that they used when we were growing up? That all of this is okay, the foreign horde being moved in here, the foreign horde being moved in here to grape the social services of the United States. Remember when they were trying to sell us when we were kids to our parents on that being okay because they're working jobs that are too laborious for us to work? Those are jobs for the third worlders. That's how they tried to package it to us in the lamestream media when we were growing up. I'm going to use the buzzword. I'm going to use the lamestream media buzzword. Okay? They tried to sell us on the idea that these are too laborious. I'm doing them. They have women doing them. First of all, these jobs that are too laborious for the people born here, because of the kind of work I've had to do my entire life, I've seen the jobs that are too laborious for the people born here. And let me tell you something. They got fat Latino women doing them that can hardly move. They're not too laborious. These jobs aren't too laborious. They're not too complicated, okay? They have fat Latino women that can't even read the language of the land or speak the language of the land, not only learning how to do them, but doing them. These jobs aren't too laborious for people like me, okay? These women that are doing jobs that are too laborious for the people born here, okay? The women doing those jobs can't do what I do outside of work, okay? They can't survive being streaming to you people all the time, okay? They can't evade law enforcement the way I can, okay? They can't what's it called? They can't get the most VR boxing wins in the world. They can't weather the storm of being subjected to the scrutiny of the internet, and they can't get the most VR boxing wins in the world, okay? So they can't do what I can do. I can do what they can do. They can't do what I can do. So I doubt that they're capable of doing jobs that are too laborious for me because I was born here, okay? There's nothing about where they were born that makes them more qualified to do the job. There's nothing about their genetics. There's nothing about their genetics that makes them more capable of doing the job than me, okay? They experience pain, and they get tired, and their muscles get sore, and their brains get sore the same way mine does, okay? They're not capable of focusing all day the same way I am. Their muscles get sore the same way mine do. They're shorter than me. They're fatter than me. They need more health care than me. They need more socializing than me. They need more of a sense of community than I do. I need a lot less than these people, and I can do a lot more work, and I'm more capable and interested in learning than these people. So I don't understand how the 4-foot-tall Oompa Loompas are doing jobs that are too laborious for me. But yeah. I mean, you know, yeah, the thing about this is that even if things started going right now, even if things got fixed magically overnight, I'm still 30. Okay, I'm still 30. All these years have gone by without me having the bare minimum of what I should have and what was entirely capable of being provided to me by this society. It was entirely capable of being provided to me by the society I was born in, the bare minimum of what I should have. That was entirely possible. That was entirely within reach. Everything was there, and instead, I grew up with what's his name, fucking Ralphie May, being on Comedy Central trying to sell to other white people, mowing lawns is too laborious for white people, and then all of the soon to be divorced mothers in the chat went like a fucking seal. Okay, they heard Ralphie May back in the 2000s be like, mowing lawns is too laborious for white people, and then some fucking, what's it called, Vicodin wine mom in the chat was like, like a fucking seal, and was like, that's so true, that's the truest thing I've ever heard, I don't even know how to turn a lawnmower on. And then they passed that on to their kids. From then on, that was in the cultural zeitgeist. They were like, yeah, you know what, mowing lawns is too laborious for white people. Like the fucking seals they are, all right? And you just ate that shit up, and no one took a step back and went, wait a minute, we're taller than the South Americans and the Central Americans. Our arms are longer than the South American and Central Americans. We could probably actually use the landscaping equipment a bit better than the 2.5 foot tall Oompa Loompas that they're importing here. If we actually put our minds together, we could probably actually run the weed eater and the lawnmower better than the 4.5 foot tall alcoholic Oompa Loompas that we're importing here and claiming are more suited for the work than us. I'm sorry, but I don't think a 4 foot tall single mom Oompa Loompa whose arms are as long as my fucking hand, okay? This bitch's arms are as long as my hand. I don't think she's gonna run a weed eater better than me if it's life or death. If it's whether or not I'm gonna work or pay rent, if we're doing an actual fair contest, I don't think Consuela's gonna run a fucking weed eater better than me when my arms are 1.5 feet longer than fucking Consuela's entire body. Sorry, I don't think Consuela's gonna run a fucking weed eater better than me if it's life or death. Okay? Sorry, but I think Ralphie May didn't actually know what the fuck he was talking about, and I think I can run a fucking weed eater better than Consuela ever can or will, because I'm fucking bigger than Consuela, and I'm fucking faster than Consuela, and I'm fucking stronger than Consuela. So I don't think Consuela's gonna run a fucking weed eater better than me. You know what I think Consuela's actually gonna do? I think if I ever get hired in the same department as Consuela to run a weed eater, Consuela's gonna conspire against me and try to convince everyone that works there that I'm not fit to run a weed eater, all right? And if there's a corrupt motherfucker working in the HR department, they might go, you know what, Consuela? I don't think Justin actually can run a weed eater. I think he's too white. I think he's too white to run a weed eater. That's what Consuela's gonna do, alright? I can run a fucking weed eater better than Consuela ever can or will. Because I have the most fucking VR boxing wins in the world, and Consuela doesn't. Bitch.